checked on the bees, it was a couple months ago.
Yeah.
You checked on them.
I was here since, and they were doing well. This is one of my favorite times of the year.
That long is incredible.
Why is she whispering?
She's talking to her bee voice.
I know you obviously shouldn't yell, like you shouldn't yell around any other animal and just like startle them, but I don't think you need to whisper around them. And it was just really bizarre just to hear her like whispering around the bees.
Look at how much honey we have on the rack.
Look at how much honey we have, like she's doing any of the work.
It is so
She just said she hadn't been there in months.
honey. Beautiful.
Brand new bee suit.
Yeah,
The bees have been
Yeah, brand new bee suit means you haven't really worked the bees a lot because they get dirty pretty quick. Yes, bees are hygienic, but you get a lot of propolis and just things are sticky and get dirty really easily. So it's obvious she's not worked the bees very much. And coming from a standpoint where she's making this show as if she's an expert, or she's just really knowing what she's doing with all of these things and like acting like she's teaching the audience what to do, it just comes across really poorly in our opinion because it's obvious she hasn't done this very much.
She's like, I'm scared, but I'm doing this anyway. I don't know.
Okay, I am all for doing things that help make you braver, push your boundaries, help you live a little bit bolder, doing things that you're a little scared of. Totally fine, love that. It just felt inconsistent with the rest of the episode because here in the beginning she's saying she's too nervous, she doesn't really want to work the bees, she's a little scared. And then later on they're harvesting honey outside where a lot of bees are going to be and they're going to be attracted to that honey. And you even see one start to fly in the frame, like we noticed it. Like, why would you do that? That's just asking for more bees to come by. And she doesn't have protective gear on at that time. So I don't know if she just became suddenly brave or if she just was lying about it to begin with, that she's not really that scared of them. But it just felt really inconsistent. It just feels like she's using that, like, you know, being brave anyways, just using that shtick for the show.
Landed the last time, Mrs. Coffee.
This is literally as good as it gets. Capped honey. It's local capped honey.
It's so... Oh, they're plastic frames.
Well,
I just
Why did they scrape that like that?
I don't know.
it really is.
Maybe they don't have an extractor, but...
Okay, so when you normally harvest honey, you don't normally scrape everything off the frame, especially if you put it in an extractor, which we do. You just uncap the top so that you can keep the honeycomb for the bees to be able to use later on in the season, and you're not basically like making them start from scratch. So I don't know if they just didn't have an extractor, didn't have a way to get like the honey out. If she's doing this like all the time or like consistently, it feels weird that she doesn't. Also, she has a ton of money. Like, why would they not just get like a cheap one or something? I don't know. It was a little weird that they would do all that. But I mean, some people do if they're like really small time, like hobbyists or whatever. They just scrape it all and then the bees just build it out again. But especially with plastic frames, like bees don't like those as much. You have to coat them with wax or something first if you're going to use plastic frames for them to want to build on it. So you would think you'd want to leave the honeycomb there so that it's easier for them to fill out with honey the next time. But that's just our personal opinion.
You know what's so ironic about it? I've never liked honey. I didn't think it was bad, I just didn't crave it. And I thought it was almost too sweet. And now, because of this process, I just appreciate it so much.
And this is high
So does
quality
she
as
like
gets,
it?
too.
I'm sure that's helpful.
Nature's.
How are they doing
Here
that
come
outside with the
bees.
bees? Yeah.
Let's see if it goes good. This is a double.
Oh, a double sieve.
There you go.
See?
You want to hold that, Megan?
I will admit, that was just a little bit of pettiness.
There you
Oh
go.
my god.
And her jewelry and no hoods on.
It's so cool.
It's like the most unrealistic way to.
It's like the messiest possible way you could do it.
Now, on top of the honey, you just have to help me
bowl
figure
that's
out what
too
to do with all the
small.
wax because I saved it.
Go because when you burn a pure beeswax candle, it actually purifies the air. So,
Okay.
how's that for full circle?
Amazing.
Pollinating the
I
world.
love that. Thank you.
Pollinating the world? Is that what you just said?
Amazing.
He is absolutely right. Beeswax does purify the air as you burn it. We were just laughing at the facial expressions after he said that, both hers and then his. It was just really funny. It was just silly looking. And then he said full circle, like, yeah, he's like pollinating the world. And that was weird to me. I did not understand that. He obviously is just a quirky little guy.
Beeswax like this before.
We just pour it. You can get wax from your local beekeeper. You can buy it
Wax,
online.
it's not
All
anything
right, so
I know.
different.
here.
It's still wax.
And I think we're going from 170, 180. This is where we can't wing it. We'll have to use a candy thermometer.
It sounds like she was asking him.
Poured into pitchers to actually put into the
Talking
candle
like she's
vessels
done this forever.
themselves. Needs to be a
This was a show about her showing us what we're supposed to be doing as hostesses and, you know, all the different ideas and stuff we can do. So coming across as, like, again, like kind of the expert in the whole idea. And then she's also doing something she's never done before, but then she's acting like she knows what she's doing and she's done it all along. Like I said, it's just very inconsistent feeling. Like, I just cannot get a hold of, like, what she's trying to convey, really, through this episode, or even, like, through this show at this point. Like, is it about trying new things, or is it about, like, showing us her own, like, tips and tricks that she's got? You know, like, I'm confused.
at 160. If it's at anything less than that, it creates those dips in candles. That's incredible. We're not gonna do that.
It's still gonna do it anyways because it's still gonna conk. Okay, all right.
And this is part of the episode where I start to get a little irritated. There are people who have been working so many years to hone this craft. They have been working their butts off to figure out the science of candle making, and beeswax is not an easy wax to work with. That's why most people do a beeswax blend. And as someone who has worked with only beeswax in candles, it has been several years of trial and error and figure things out. I can tell you right now, she had sinkholes in those candles. I know she said she was going to put them at the right temperature, she wouldn't have them. She's going to have them. But yeah, they didn't heat up their vessel ahead of time, which is going to maximize the air bubbles and stuff inside of it.
I'll probably do something like this.
Yeah.
Is that good? Awesome. You can take it back.
How do they know what size wick to use if they didn't even know what size vessel they
Here's the
wanted?
wick of a normal candle, and you notice when you
What's a normal candle?
You didn't know what vessel you were using? How did you pick your wick size? You can hear me start to get upset with Lucas about this part. Like, what does that mean? A normal candle? What is a normal wick? Like, is there a standard I haven't heard about? Inform me, please.
If you go all the way to the end, there's always that metal bit. So that's it, which is going to anchor it. So essentially, if we dip this in a little bit of wax, it's going to secure itself.
Then what happens?
Doesn't work.
Your dowel.
She's trying to attach the wick at the bottom with the wax. That doesn't usually work because then when you put the wax on over top, it remelts what you just secured it with at the bottom. That's why most people use glue dots or other things to secure it.
I'm moving my hands from this equation, so you tell me what
She's just letting everybody else do everything.
There it went on the counter.
one for each hole. What do you want? You put this peppermint.
Yes.
How'd she know how much to put in there?
She's just guessing.
And she's just like pouring this all like it's gonna be great the first time. And then the essential oils, so they didn't measure any of that stuff out either. So who even knows how that is gonna be effective? Hot throw, cold throw, whatever.
You'd be great on these race there.
It's not gonna stick.
I've already injured myself.
The bottom is probably just floating around. Better save some. Better save some. Look, did you see the wick? It moved off center. They better save it.
I was just desperate for her to save wax so that she could fill in the sinkholes that I know she saw later in those candles. Like, I really wish they had filmed that reaction because I know they were there. A store after 1 hour of experience and not even checking the quality. Hello? No thanks. So anyways, the only quality candle that you should be buying that starts with a double M would be Moser Made, not Meghan Markle.
Yeah. How long does it take for a candle to dry? 3 or 4 hours? Where do you have to go?
Try 24 to 48 hours for the first cure and then a week.
4 hours, let's go make a beautiful.
This was so laughable to me, this part. It will be cool enough to the touch maybe after 3 to 4 hours, but it will not be cool enough to burn until 24 to 48 hours later. And then if you really want to burn it, like, to see its full testing ability, you have to wait a week because beeswax takes at least 1 week to cure because it's one of the longest taking cure times of all the waxes. So yeah, they'll be waiting a while before they can even use it. So I was so done by this point. Please do not take your candle making or beekeeping advice from this episode. Anyways, hope you enjoyed.